Okay. As always, first of all, I need to be thankful to God. The way my brain is just been manipulated and how these perps live life trying to make a target individual acceptive of how the brain is manipulated. I mean, I remember when I was listening to or reading these testimonials from all around the world of target individual. And there was this man who called out, and I remember him saying that his thought process is pushed to like a retardation level of thought process. And I know it's kind of harsh of a word, but I truly understand that. And I'm sorry if I use that word. I'm not trying to be harsh and insulting to people who actually have mental handicaps, but truly mentally, things are just like logically you just you just move backward in a ways that is just surreal. And this the saddest part, not even the saddest part, the craziest part is to hear perps whose job is to make you accepted of that. Their job, their life, currently as free, independent people, job right now, what they're tasked to do is to really push you to accept this. I mean, I understand they're supposed to push you into insanity, but they have to stay in character. So I don't think their state of sanity is up there. I think some of them are really close to the spectrum, especially the longer they get into that. I feel like you can't be doing that for too long without losing sense of logic. It's bad. Now for us target individuals, there's no other things we can deal with. We have to deal with the reality that our brain is just being destroyed, being degraded. Today functioning at work was tough, but I expect that. A lot of confusion and brain manipulation that makes it even harder for you to think clearly, and also you're so distracted by other things, and plus your brain is being manipulated and degraded and destroyed. So I've accepted reality. I've understood that my brain is literally being degraded and manipulated, right? And so I've accepted the reality that my functionality will not be at the best. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. That's the reality of things. Confusions and other reality of what's happening to my brain is going to be a factor in my everyday. Like today was just so obvious, but in such a like, oh my gosh. And it's a mixture of brain fatigue and what they're doing to you, plus the degradation, plus the distraction, because you're being this distraction from the manipulation that's just so disturbingly retarded. And here these perps, their job is to be on the spectrum. If they're not, I gotta bring that up. The level of how we're thinking is just so illogical. I was listening to this thing 2 seconds ago, and this is how stupid my brain has gone to. There's this show about this man. He's a funny guy, and the way he describes these women, how they're very curvaceous, and he calls them like yummy or like yummy something, and it's funny, right? And they make me think, oh, would you use that to be funny or something like that? I was like, yeah, that's a funny thing. It's like, oh, remember the joke? Oh, that's you. That was a phrase. These perps, I don't know how they can do this and not be mentally manipulated into retardation. And they're like, oh, you see, I paid. I was like, Jesus, how retarded one can be. Like, how can I look at this trash and think how can I respect human beings like that? Clown. But I guess they're perfect for what this program looks for in regard of participating. My brain is being fried up, destroyed, and I'm losing the ability of utilizing my brain. It's gonna get worse, but before that, I will put that in their faces. I will never want to trade places with somebody who's doing that. I could never be this retarded for the purpose of pushing somebody into insanity. The embarrassment of reality. And these people are living in that life. I was like, how is your regular life? How do you live? Like, how do you function in life when you have to be this retarded? Like, how does it come back to you? I couldn't even look at you without laughing at it. Oh, pedo. Because you twisted this thing in this retardation? Clown ass. And they were saying things like how they're gonna frame me. They're gonna say, hey, you breathing me. Oh, I'm like, Jesus, the future of this shit is over. Listen, target individual, I'm a test subject. I'm a target individual just like you. The perps around me are so compromised to the point where they're having their children frame me. They're saying things like, we're gonna say that you breathing me. Oh, some nastiness. Can you imagine being a child saying that on your age to frame somebody? Oh, God. And I'm looking at the perps that are my coworkers on camera. And I'm like, that's what you think this trash for? That's what you thank the team for. Please continue to encourage them to live this life. I will never go against that. Be over there, relax, watch this, and thank them for how daring they are. I will never discourage that. Human low life and so young as kids, already in this retardation of lifestyle, already in this foulness of a lifestyle, out here saying these things. Oh gosh, the future is so nasty for them. There's no way there's going to be a great future. There's no way. I can put money on it. I'm sure that life is not going to be good. And I've been such a prophet because I say the things. You know, the target individuals, we have to be strong because they won't. These perps, their job is not to acknowledge reality. But I put that in their face. They get frustrated. Sometimes I bring it up just to see how they react. And I was like, hey, where's that person? Where is she? This is an individual who's participating in my targeting when I start working where I work. And things are not looking good for her because reality is reality. People get sick. Take life for granted. You enjoy being God one time or another. The day will come. And she participated more than anybody here. Like today, the people I'm seeing here is like, yo, I have recording of me having this interaction with this person when I got employed. I have recording her. You might even hear her say some nasty things. Not too long ago, last year, she was telling me how I'm being depreciated. Now, whatever's going to happen to me, it's not going to make that life better for her. But they always try to like, oh, eyes rolling. So where is it? Okay, yeah. It's not weird, huh? Okay. Yeah. Okay. You have these clowns over there that you're hyping up. There's kids that over there that just got raped not too long ago. You have this trash here, how daring they are to frame me and tell me how they're gonna say that I breeded them with some nastiness of that level. Let me repeat that. That I breeded them. It's nasty. Can you imagine living life like that? As a child. Well, there's actually children being raped. Oh, so nasty. The thing is, the worst part is the parents. Where are they? Where do you respect your kids? Do you respect yourself as a father, as a mother? What torture is going to change what you just involved your child into? They're so nasty. But I'm here to help you. I'll put that in your face. I'll acknowledge it for you. So when you're done being God, when you're done hoping, you know what we should expect. You know, they tell me how they're going to put me in this despair state of mind. That's what happens as a target individual. You're being destroyed. Right now, I expect the worst. This is why I make so many videos. It's hard for me to function. It's hard for me to speak right now. It's really hard. But I'm speaking as much as I can now before I can't. I make sure that this is in the air, in the universe, like they say. This trash sold their soul and their kids' soul into this freaking disgusting entity. They even have their kids saying these things. They're just the bottom feeders. I always know, in my last breath, I will never think, oh, this trash around here, they're the reason why. No. On my phone, I have the person who's responsible for my death. I will never forget. This trash are the true losers out of everybody here. Even me. They are the real losers in this whole thing. Especially those who are going to use their children. But it's okay. Let me be their prophet. So the things they've done to my thought process, and the way they have this ability to play these clowns. Listen, today what's happening, since August 19, 2019, they forced me to have these nasty reactions. They forced me to get stimulations. They torment me using this pedophilia type of torture, which they've done it to others. Why do they do that? Because at the end of the day, they're developing this cognitive weapon, this cognitive warfare weapon. They're using us test subjects to break us, to use us as developing tools for these weapons. We're guinea pigs. And there's incentives of all sorts, I'm sure, financial included, but just the ability to be involved in the technology or program that can create this level of manipulation on the human brain and mind and body, that alone I think can bring a lot of people to be involved in this. Being able to involve yourself in technology that's so advanced and sophisticated that one might think is science fictional. So for me, it's just like, okay, don't forget that reality, because this is why you're slowly losing sense of logic. That's why your brain is turning into some mental retarded individual. That's why these clowns are here being such a winners. But that's the reality. Now, the way they've done these things to my brain, and now the way they just try to make me accepting of this manipulation. You know what they do to me today is when I look at these little babies, they force me sexual stimulation. That's what they've been doing, especially little girls. And they're like, no, but little girls is real. Little boys is just not mapping. It's not real. This is us. And it's just that stupid. That they will make you have this sexual stimulation and try to find ways to make you accept of it. This is how retarded my brain has gone. This is how they want me to start thinking about things. That they make me have this stimulation and then look at where they can pair it to. So they gave me stimulations that they forced me to have, so they are making me having this sexual stimulation, then looking at, oh, we paired it to, that's how stupid it has gone. In my brain, they're like, no, but today we don't longer do the pedophilia type of torture, we pair it, we match it. They're very convenient, huh? It's so nasty. And so what they've been doing, especially with little girls, is like giving me this stimulation, this nasty. It's like, no, this is real and mapped. This you when you like we found something in your brain like that. This is you. And so what they're doing to make me accepting of this, it has gone to like playing my memories. They're erasing me, right? But they're also wanting me to make sense of it and not being and be accepting of the manipulations. They're like, okay, but before August 19, 2019, that's the day they start playing my brain. When you saw little girls, you felt this level of like, I felt like differently than when I see little boys. Like this different type of preciousness of little girls versus little boys. Little boys are also like precious and wholesome in one way, but little girls are precious in different ways. As I'm saying that they're still stimulating my private part just to create a false memory. But it's like, you see, because little girls is real, and then they put the stimulation they make me have today. Now, of course, there's a difference between little boys and little girls. They're both wholesome, adorable kids, and can make me feel like this wholesomeness. I think little girls is more just like preciousness, but little boys too has like this wholesomeness about it. I always wanted to have a little boy at one point, but of course I won't care. But they're like, oh, I see, but that's the difference, because the little girls is real, like the pedophilia type of torture. They start creating these things in this version, and these perps have no shame. Because via V2K, I can hear the interaction they're having with me via this projected voice, and like, they start saying this, I'm like, these people have no shame. They literally conditioning my brain to have this reaction towards these little kids, this little baby, these little girls, and especially little girls. This literally, I've been making hundreds of videos, thousands of videos about the same thing. They're changing my brain like this. This is like, they really conditioning my brain. And now they're even erasing my memories. My memories has been everywhere. There's little girls, little black girls especially, they've been adding memories with stimulation and sensation all the time. And wanting me to start identifying with this false persona. I made these videos in 2020 saying they are playing my memories too. This is 2020, and this, because there's 4 that try to change it to something else. But this is what I said.
Remember, you actually had that memory, but the perception changes in that memory, and sensations are added to it. It's nuts. It's just so weird to even try to explain something like that, because it does feel so, so abnormal. But adding sensations, feelings, perceptions of things you weren't feeling, just to also create this narrative in this persona. And
so I figured out that they were doing these things where they manipulate my memories, and it's like they're trying to push me to see myself differently and slowly changing my memories, and then I'll never have clear memories of who I was before August 19, 2019, right? This is 2020, so it's getting worse, right? So now they try to find ways, but you see, like, how precious little girls are, but little boys too, but you see how this changing and creating this sexual stimulation they make me have, but not too intensely initially, but it's gonna get to that point. And you hear this purpose of, oh no, we mapped it. They're like trash ass. They literally are rewiring my brain. Because they do this pedophilia type of torture. It's a tactic they use on others. And I've always bring that up. And they're like, no, our little girls. No, your little girls are the little girls that you forced me to get sexual stimulation. My memories with little girls in it are forced to have these sensations, so I can never recollect myself of how I would naturally feel. Today, I don't even try. They try to even create battles. Like, think about how would you feel if you weren't being manipulated by us. Yeah, let me try that. Let me guess. I'm gonna have some kind of manipulation. And you have this purpose who's supposed to make you accept it. Like, no, what we're doing, we're mapping your brain. We're not. You're altering my brain, and you're trying to make me be accepting of these personalities, this manipulation and sensation, and creating these ways of just have this thought process. Because you're forcing me to have this nasty pedophilia type of tormenting, which you've done to others. One thing they used to do, but they still do, is like, no, but we mapped it to you. Remember what you did as a kid? They bring up what I did as a child. That was like that's the centerpiece of like their validations. A child doing some damn thing that I completely forgot. That today they're like, no, but you see that's how you felt when you were a kid. I didn't even feel like that when I was a kid, but I did do an appropriate act of a child that they try to exaggerate. And today, when they make me have these stimulations, like, now we mapped it to that when you were a kid, remember? Remember what you did? It's like, that's what a child is capable of doing. What you're doing to me is like you're rewiring my brain process. You're making me have these sexual stimulations. Comes in different ways. Intense, less intense, sensations, stimulations, libido manipulations, all just 24/7. Because that's the way they break people down. This is how they destroy the target individual mind. They have rewired the brain, and it's an offensive, worse, like cognitive warfare, where you are being rewired, and they try to make you acceptive of these tactics.
Some technologies that can plant voices into an individual's head. And once you can do that, you can control them using neuro-linguistic programming techniques. You're rewiring their thought processes and brains. And so this gets into what's called offensive information warfare. I want to see if they can manipulate people to do things that are irrational, but also walk them to their death. And so you can call it a eugenics program even. And they need to sample all cultures, language throughout the world to define the probability matrices of which tricks, techniques, deception works. So how do you control it?
And so you understand the way that you're like, no, but you see, but we feel this way, like this, and you think like no, you just rewire my memories, you rewire my thought process, you're forcing me to get stimulation, you just really conditioning me. And it's gonna be ongoing till I completely forget myself. But before that, I've made sure I've made so many videos that I will never give you the luxury to escape. And so they do everything possible to block reality, because this is not unique to me. I can always
It's
bring that.
dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind. But he thought of pedophilia. Like, this disgusting.
She said thought of pedophilia, and this is the things they like to do.
This is a common breakdown tactic of belief systems and the human will. In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds, and vice versa.
And this sensation, stimulation, all of that.
Torture. They coordinate.
Bring it up right here. Typical.
What is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture.
The pedophilia type of torture. I'm going to bring the same thing, and I'm not going to let them escape. For me, coworkers have been utilized to try to break you down and to make you accepting of things. But if anything, they look like idiots now. Let me show you. I'm saying that they make me imagine a coworker's child. They're forcing me the stimulation that they will make me have if I saw the babies. That's the things they do. They really want you to identify with these nasty manipulations and try to make you feel guilty for how they force you to experience things, because this is something they've done to others. Also children. They do this nastiness. They force people to have this nasty reaction. And it's very pedophilia centric. And it's repetitively the same thing, so you're going to hear from others. Some type of pedophilia, type of tormenting imaginations, stimulations, dreams, something.
I also often see highly disturbing pornographic images and videos, including highly disturbing pedophilia type of images and videos.
It's systematic, and they play with your libido to degrade you.
They use these monarch style torture programs, like it's based on sex and trauma. So they're gonna traumatize you, they're gonna use your libido to get back at you.
And they use your libido to disturb you. So they make you have sexual stimulations, as they can do that with this technology.
This technology can be used to sexually manipulate the target. It can make the target feel sexual arousal.
And so they go make you have sexual arousal that they want you to have, and then they aim those sexual arousal, like this woman said, toward whatever is going to degrade you, which is going to be children. It's so disgusting. And then they try to make you feel guilty for how they force you to experience this, whatever experience that you experience. They are the one forcing you to get the stimulations, then they try to gaslight you. They're trash clowns. And they talk about, there's a lot of gaslighting that consists of deflection. So they're gonna talk in circles to disorient you. And this is this is via V2K. They tell you about random things when they make you have this experience. Now you're gonna be burning, you're gonna do this and that. So okay, you still made me experience this nasty manipulation. The nasty low life. And via V2K,
V2K, or voice to skull. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind.
I mean, right now this.
Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted and sexual, as well as just.
And when she say perverted, she doesn't mean perverted in the sense of like, oh, there's men and women. Feels no toward babies. That's the same woman talks about the pedophilia type of torture. Right now, this perps interacting with me, come in all shape or form. They can come in shape like this. They can come in a more refined way, like adult-like. They can come this way. But they're all perps, and they all have a purpose of trying to make you accepting of this. I'll never. Now they know that, because I put that in their face 24/7. I know what this is about. This is what this man talks about. This is the technology that this man talks about. That they've been working on since the Korean War, and why they will do that? But listen to this.
Government-sanctioned experiments. Is Cheryl Bush telling the truth, or are her claims absurd? Just another conspiracy theory that's impossible to prove. Maybe. But not if you listen to Nick Begich.
I think there's some good evidence that Cheryl Welch and many of the other people I've spoken with have been victimized by this electromagnetic mind control experiments. The weapons of this century aren't bombs and bullets and ordnance, but electromagnetic energy targeting the human being, which is the greatest revolution in military affairs since gunpowder.
Begich is an expert in government mind control. He is convinced the Pentagon has mastered a technology once thought to be science fiction. The ability to broadcast information directly into the human brain.
Our government began spending a lot of time looking at how to modify behaviors of human beings. Going back to the Korean War, in fact, in a publication, Low Intensity Conflict and Modern Technology, they have a chapter on electromagnetic weapon systems, being able to not just to debilitate someone, but actually even to stimulate certain activities within the brain.
But how?
Understand? Since the Korean War, I mean, I don't know if it's the 50s or 60s, but we're talking about that long ago. And it's a weapon system, but how they do this is apparently this is how.
If you can modulate a signal that the brain locks onto, recognizes, and begins to mirror or follow the frequency following response. The brain rhythms change, then it creates a chemical cascade within the brain and the emotions change. Now the resolution gets finer and finer and finer. And it used to just to be about triggering emotions. You change people's brain chemistry pretty readily, change their emotional state pretty easily. But when you get down to the idea of thoughts, and being able to manipulate those, that requires a different kind of sophistication.
Understand? So this is what's happening. They can alter my brain in whatever ways, and it gets very sophisticated, and with time it gets worse. Because it's like you're being erased, and this new version of how things are experienced is just it's used to replace your memories, your experiences. Now for me, I've understood that. That's why I make so many videos, because I understand there'll be a day I will not be able to express myself, articulate myself. I mean, this functionality of my brain is just cognitively, it's getting worse. Today working was just like, I did things multiple times and still made an error that was like, what? And it's just like, oh my gosh, they're literally controlling. And it's also a combination of being being distracted by these manipulations, plus them being able to play with your brain. It's just like, oh my gosh, like I'm not thinking clearly. Easy thing was just like, whoa, what's going on? And so I expect that. That's reality. I've accepted the reality of things. You have to accept the reality, target visual, but doesn't mean you can't fight. But accept the reality. There's certain things that you can't control. The fact that my brain is being destroyed by governmental entities, this is something I can control. I'm powerless about that. I can try to escape it and survive it, but I don't think there's anything I can do about it. So what I can do though is to make sure that any low life that participate in these things never escape from reality. They enjoy this. They created this fucking storyline, the fantasizing of reality. Now we're mapping this. Now you're altering my brain, literally erasing me from who I am. and change me and manipulate me every day of my life since August 19, 2019. Like programming, like this person said, like conditioning somebody in these disgusting ways. Because this is what this is really about. This is what this man said. Because as a target individual, he understood what this meant.
That this person developed delusional disorder. This is a paranoid schizophrenia. But first of all, nobody develops paranoid schizophrenia in the 50s, in their 50s. This is, if you haven't developed it by 30, it's not. Then this technology exists. These nefarious programs exist. And it's hard to imagine for a person that why would you do something like this? But if you think about the new type of warfare, exactly, it's a cognitive warfare. You don't have to kill people that you are fighting against. You can just degrade their brain. You can
you alter their minds.
Yeah, alter their minds,
personalities.
And it's like Chinese torture. I mean, okay, so.
So, your mind is altered. Your brain is destroyed. They, this personality rebuild. They create this false personality and try to make you accepting of this. And they use these clowns 24/7 around you. That's supposed to make you think that this is anything but this massive government that's been working on this technology. And that no, they're mapping, we're not altering your brain, it's you. And they come up with these ways of just wanting you to perceive them in different ways. They're clowns in every level you can imagine. But I put this there like this.
And I've heard all these stories. We're evil aliens. There's people that carry the V2K. So they'll say, we're the Russian government, we're the Chinese government, we're evil aliens, we're Satan's, satanic ritual abuse. And I've heard all these stories. One guy believed it was some 14-year-old kid with an Xbox that lived next door. The trickery really is that great when you're under hypnosis, that people will believe something other than a massive government could do this.
And so, like, when they have these thoughts, manipulation, that you can hear it via V2K, right? How they can pipe in this voice, like, in your brain. Somebody be like, oh, yeah, okay. Oh, like, yeah, okay. Like, it really, I'm like, this clown is real. For me, then they talk about how I'm going to be tortured and this and that. Like, whatever's going to happen to me, I'm never going to give you that luxury. I can be tattooed, butchered, stabbed, hung, burned, revived, drowned, and I'll never give you a fucking fantasy. You will see yourself for what you're really part of. These perps come in all shape and form, and their job is to make you accepting of these manipulations. They tell me how they're going to take away my hope. It's like, wait, I hope that's perfect. So you should keep hope. So when your things comes to you when you have all the good hopes. Because I'd rather not have any hope than have hope doing what you do. But it's okay. You'll see. For me, I try to minimize the spiritual aspect of things. But I gotta say, this level of facilitated evil. Because this technology can do so much horrible things remotely. Using this energetic technology. Like this man said. The reason why anybody can partake in this is because this is the 21st century weapon system. No more bullet shooting, all that, no, the damage they've done to me without a single person doing anything to me directly, it's surreal. Today they try to create a psyop of some sort, a theatric torture. They tell me I'm going to be crushed. It's like my bones are so fragile right now. Like my elbow, look like I'm so close to break down and nobody have done anything to me physically. So at this point, they're like, oh, you're going to be knocked out. I was like, you know how fragile I am because this 21st century has destroyed me? And this is not, it's them trying to like prolong things. They could have make me evaporated. This is 24th, and they try to create this theatric of this is not anything but this massive government. You pay, and this and that, you clown ass. Because the reality is what this is about, is this. as this man describes it, the 21st century weapon system will be this.
Not to mention everything else that we've done. So the human body couples with external fields of all kinds. For radio frequency, you can look at the Radio Frequency Dosimetry Handbook, 1986, University of Utah, produced for the Air Force. It gives you the resonant frequencies for each vital organ so that you can send in a radio signal that will couple with the liver, the kidneys, the lungs, and cause them to malfunction so that you can degrade the performance of your adversary. The new weapon systems being developed today will attack the mind, the body, and our physiology on an energetic level. Not with bullets and bombs. It's a perfect Republican weapon. No offense to Republicans here, but you don't want to destroy the property. You have to rebuild it afterwards. This is a weapon systems of the 21st century. It's the very beginning of it in a lot of ways, but the research goes back over 50 years.
The 21st century weapon system, which will destroy your mind and your body, not with bullets and whatever. That's the easy stuff. That's light. That's by using this energy weaponry. Now, for me, they're gonna say like, "Oh, you're gonna be stabbed. It's gonna be a knife." I was like, "Oh, really? Well, whose knife has been destroying my organs right now?" It's like comical. It's like, "Oh, the knife. Oh, that's why it really destroyed me. Look at me. I'm fading away. I'm wasting away. What knife has hit me? The rest is just gonna be theatric. They're clowns. And they play these games. And they're like, oh, you are happy, dude. And now they make me think of these little babies and give me the stimulation they force me to have and everything else. Like, and the reality, because governmental entities have been working on this technology. We're talking about the DoD. We're talking about this intelligence community. This is how old these things go back to. It's documented.
In 1965, DARPA launched Project Pandora, which studied the possibility of using microwave radiation to control human behavior. The project reportedly ended in 1969, but DARPA's investigation of how machines can affect and possibly control the brain continues today.
This is in the 60s. They literally had a whole project for it. These are the same entity right now with this kind of issues. That's they project onto us, target visual, to break us down. This is reality. And by the way, DARPA stands for Defense Advanced Research Project Agency.
Secrets, potentially making this. The Defense Department releasing brand new details into an investigation involving child pornography and dozens of its workers and contractors, some with top-level security clearance. Not only are these very serious accusations, but investigators say some of the people involved were handling the nation's most sensitive secrets, potentially making this a matter of national security. Chief Fox Report correspondent Jonathan Hunt with the news. Appalling story, Jonathan. Do we know more about these people and their security clearances?
Well, we don't know their exact job titles, John, but what we do know is that they did appear to be working, some of them at high levels, across a range of government agencies. Take a look at this, for instance, the National Security Agency, the National Reconnaissance Office, and the very secretive Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. Others also worked.
Sounds familiar? Yes, DARPA. That's in 2007. You know how bad this issue is? This is what happened. This is what got prompt because of these issues.
For links to the proliferation of graphic material. Called Project Flicker, some 5,000 individuals have been identified as having subscriptions to child porn sites, including many DoD-affiliated persons. So this ongoing national investigation has now prompted the House to introduce a bipartisan bill that would help the DoD stop the use of its network to, quote, possess, procure, or produce child pornography. Joining us to discuss this, investigative journalist Ben Swan. So Ben, the Pentagon already takes measures to limit worker access to stuff like porn by rolling out what they call the Personal Electronic Device, PED policy. where workers have to drop off their phones and lockers before entering their offices. All their online searches are accessible by security if or when needed. Their Wi-Fi access is monitored in digital security suites. So how is this happening?
Well, it's happening because even though there is a certain amount of limitation on access, those who are working in the Department of Defense, clearly it appears to be thousands of individuals in the Department of Defense, are finding ways around this, specifically by using the Department of Defense IP addresses and also apparently peer-to-peer sharing within the department's network. So this study that was done on this issue, and it is pretty horrifying, Manila, to consider this. It shows that the Department of Defense ranked 19th out of almost 3,000 networks in terms of peer-to-peer sharing of child pornography. That is absolutely incredible. This bill attempts to essentially say, look, we're not doing enough to stop it from coming in, but
And this is what this bill's supposed to
are
help.
being misused to share,
Supposed
to spread, to access child pornography. And when you Department of Defense computers are being misused to share, to spread, to access child pornography. And when you step into an office, whether it's a Department of Defense office or
Reality, is magical. But before I completely lose myself, I'm so thankful that I was able to see things for what they are, and most importantly, did not let this trash escape. You'll see reality for what it is. You know what you're involved in. You know that the technology capability, they enjoy this. All these participants, especially when it comes to this more sophisticated technology applied onto us with the V2K, this EEG or dining, this technology that can alter your brain